David Hill again with Southern Hill Farms. We're in the cornfield again this morning. This corn was planted on February 17th. I'm going to talk this morning about pollination and how the corn gets pollinated. These tassels, they come out they grow up through the center of the plant, and they push out, and when they push out, they have these pollen sacs. The pollen is kind of like a yellow dust, and each grain of pollen pollinates each kernel on an ear of corn. So as these get ready, they start, as the wind blows, the pollen dust comes down from the corn, from the tassel, and it lands on the silks, and that's how it gets pollinated. That's why you always want at least 2 rows of corn planted in your garden. So if the wind blows sideways, that row can pollinate this ear, and vice versa. If you have just 1 row, it might, if the wind's blowing, it won't get to the ears in order to pollinate. So I wanted to show you real quick what an ear of corn looks like inside. All right, this is a baby ear of corn. It's got another 2.5 weeks or so to go. These are silks. Each silk is attached to each kernel. But there's 1 silk per kernel in this ear. The silks are actually hollow tubes. They're like straws. And when the pollen dust, it blows down, it falls down, and it will land on the end of the silk. And the silk will take that grain of pollen, remember it's a straw, and it'll take it down to that kernel, and it will pollinate that kernel. If you open up an ear of corn and you have skips that the corn isn't plump in those where the kernel should be, that's because that silk did not receive a grain of pollen at the right time. So I'm going to cut this, I'm going to peel this corn back, this ear of corn back. Okay, this, you see the baby ear of corn. It's kind of like what you see on a salad bar. These are the silks. Like I was saying, they're hollow straws. The pollen gets on the end of the straw. It's sucked down to the bottom and it pollinates the kernel. And I'm going to show you real quick. You see that? See how each silk is attached to a kernel. 1 silk per kernel, and that's how an ear of corn is made. That is Mother Nature at its finest. But remember, Mother Nature has a father, and the Lord designed this, and it's what makes the world go round. Thank you very much.